The music is dissonant, turbulent, thunderous, and most especially loud. But it may be one of the most significant indications that the secular modern world is dying. I'm talking, of course, about that music genre called heavy metal. As it's so often associated with drugs, sex, and satanic themes, heavy metal is often derided and dismissed by conservatives as nothing more than cultural rot, indeed, the epitome of Western civilization's demise. And yet, there's a profoundly nationalist and traditionalist sentiment that stalks the music of heavy metal, one that explicitly rejects the secularity of modernity on behalf of a faithful commitment to culture, nation, religion, and tradition. Though rather uncertain, the origin of the term heavy metal appears to go back to the Toronto lead singer John Kay of the band Steppenwolf, who's credited as the first person to use the term in the classic 1968 song Born to Be Wild. Since then, the term was thought to adequately describe the kind of loud, grinding, machine-like pounding of drums and electric guitars combined with the oftentimes dramatic, commanding, and, yes, piercing vocals. However, ironically, the instrumental timbre of heavy metal is actually quite akin to the timbre of a string orchestra, as aptly demonstrated by the Finnish band called Apocalyptica, which has made a career of transcribing heavy metal music for cello ensemble. As such, heavy metal, unlike blues, rock and roll, or pop music, resembles symphonic sounds, which inescapably draws it to the traditionalist world of classical music. Listen to the technique of Swedish guitarist Yngwie Malmsteen and how it resembles the extraordinary virtuosity of a solo violin. And it's not only the guitar that's drawn towards this traditionalist classical expression. The Finnish band Nightwish utilizes highly operatic vocals for their own version of what's called symphonic metal. As it turns out, the traditionalism that stalks heavy metal renders the music a highly preservative, yes, indeed, conservative conduit for the foundations of Western civilization. Perhaps no band better exemplifies this commitment to the literature and history of Western civilization than the British band Iron Maiden. Here's a sampling of their song titles. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, a poem by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The Flight of Icarus, Alexander the Great. Aces High about the Battle of Britain, which is introduced with a recorded snippet from Winston Churchill's Never Surrender speech. And The Trooper, the song we're hearing right now, which is Maiden's version of The Charge of the Light Brigade, the poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
He'll take my life, but I'll take his tail. The fire basket, but I'll run it through. So when you're waiting for the next attack,
As evident particularly in Europe, heavy metal provides a powerful platform for the expression of pre-modern and nationalistic sensibilities. Take, for example, the English heavy metal band Saxon, whose songs express a longing for the splendors of Christendom. The glories of the Byzantine Empire is celebrated. Here's a Russian band named Elissa, whose music celebrates Russian nationalism and Orthodox Christianity. This song, The Sky of Slavs, is a call for political and spiritual solidarity among all Slavic people. If Russian nationalism is celebrated by the likes of Elissa, it's Ukrainian nationalism that you'll hear from the band Dubuk. This is their song Glory to Ukraine, which is a spin-off from the Russian Slava Rossi, or Glory to Russia. And Norwegian bands like Satyricon and Immortal explore grand primordial themes in Norse mythology akin to Wagnerian operas. By doing so, these bands seek to reawaken the pre-Christian European soul, as most especially found in the polytheistic identities of the Nordic gods of the Scandinavian peoples. In fact, traditionalist themes so pervade certain Scandinavian bands such as Amon Amarth that they form a new genre of heavy metal often called Viking metal that focuses, of course, on the Viking Age and an even broader Germanic heritage. And so what does all of this mean? Well, apart from being a powerfully visceral and adrenaline-charged music, heavy metal witnesses to the growing backlash against the anti-traditional processes of globalization and its secular aristocracy. Heavy metal draws deeply from a vocabulary of cultural identity, nation, tradition, and custom that powerfully rises up and challenges the detraditionalizing dynamics of secular modernity that are seen as robbing cultures and nations of their distinctive identities, customs, and traditions. As such, heavy metal provides a powerful platform for the expression of alternative visions of nationalist and populist allegiance. In fact, the association between heavy metal and European nationalism has grown so explicit that the far-left organization Antifa is calling out many of these bands for supposedly pro-fascist sentiments and seeking to censor their online content and shut down their shows. But attempts to censor are only the last vestiges of a dying belief system. Secular modernity is dead, and the new normal around the world is culture, nationalism, religion, and tradition. And with the rise of heavy metal, this new normal just got a whole lot louder.